と、ホラゲーホラゲーではない。はい、こんにちは、こんばんは。真の暇つぶしの真です。まあ、何ヶ月ぶりだ。まあ、ずっと他のゲームやってたんでね。結構間は空いたんですけど、フィンチ家の奇妙な屋敷で起きたことっていうやつで、まあ、家族、まあ、このね、ツリーに名前が書いてある人たちの、まあ、生きてた時はどうだったかみたいな感じのやつなのかな。亡くなる直前のお話なのかな、確か。久しぶりすぎて覚えてねえや。っていうので、まあいつも通りゆったりまったりやっていこうと思います。で、どこ行けばいいんだ。これは終わってる。戻ればいい。戻るか。戻り方がわかんない。ちょっとこうか。
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
私が悪方で遊ぶのはなぜ母さんが嫌がったのか今になって分かった。こっち行けばいいの。まあちょっと酔っちゃうとは思うので、そこだけ。
All those times I played with the music box and never found
昔
the
よくオ
basement
ルゴール
key.
で遊んだのに地下室の鍵を、雰囲気いいね。マジで。雰囲気いいかな。地下室の鍵ってことは、まあ、今回は垂れ流しにする感じになるのかな。まあ、一応録画だけは。まあ、行けるところまでは行きたいなーっていう感じなので。で、オルゴールで鍵がどううるせえか、大丈夫か。画面暗い。画面暗いか。ちょっと上げるか。地下室に来たけど。
Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted
母さ
another
んは地下
tetanus
は絶
shot.
対に立ち入り禁止だと言った。さもなくば、破傷風。消えるの早いんよ。
I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages.
見たことがあると。
I thought maybe she was hiding presents. It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that.
暗いね。
I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone.
お母さん
She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could. If there's a pattern in all these stories,
ストーリーに共通点があるとしたら、
I think it's that none of us has gotten very
それ
far.
は私、やっぱりホラゲやろ。いや、ホラゲではないはずなんだよ。暗いね。何これ、絵なのか、地下だから絵か。見えないんだけど。暗っ。
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive the week.
綺麗ね。うん、綺麗ね。
But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane. Having a schedule, living for today. I always expected to be dead tomorrow.
急なイケオジボイス。
But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything. Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly. And then one day, everything just stopped. Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid. It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years.
この30年の中で一番長い。
I'm done waiting.
待つのは終わり。
I have to leave.
Huh?
Well, I still can.
どこどこ行けばいいんだよ。あ、ここ。毎日桃缶食ってたんか。多分そうだろうね。手
I
に
know
発
it's out
疹あった
there
から、
somewhere.
糖尿病とかなってんじゃない？多分。
Whatever killed Barbara and Molly
そしてもう
and Calvin.
さらにカルビンも。
Maybe this is all a mistake.
間違いない。
But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me. Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left, or a month, or a single week. I'd be happy with one more day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
え？今引かれなかった。
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here.
ってことは、
I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me.
お母さんはおそらく私を守ろうとしたんだろう。
Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter.
ん外に出れたのか。
But if she never
外に
told
出
me
れた
about
っ
an
ぽい
uncle
よ。
under the house,
でも家の下にいる。
I can only imagine what else she was hiding.
他に何を隠していたのかは
I don't
計
want
り
to
知
make
れ
the
ない
same mistakes she made.
彼女と同じ過ちを繰り返したくない。いろいろあるね。
Trying to bury something that's still alive. Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe two,
ひょっとすると2
I
人
thought it was time I heard the stories for myself
それぞれのストーリーを自ら紐解く時が来た
and
と
found
思
out
っ
what happened
た。
to everyone else.
そして他のみんなに何があったのか知
But now
る
I'm
時
worried
が。
the stories themselves might be
で
the
もこうしてみ
problem.
るとストーリー自体が問題な気もする。
Maybe we believed so much in a family
私た
curse.
ちはもしかしたら一族に
We made it
ちょっと待って。一族にかかる呪いよ。聞いちゃった。それ現実にしてしまったのか。外出たよ。綺麗だ
I don't
ね。
know if I should even be writing this. Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me. But I thought you should know about your family.
どうし
And the history you're a part of.
してあなたがその一部となる歴史を。綺麗だね。
Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right
私
now.
も同じくらい途方に暮れているけど。
I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth.
私たちは各々のストーリーを信じていた。お母さんは地下でおじいさんを育ててたのかな。
And when you look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible.
もうありえるよね。こっち行ける？けど何にもないか。
I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it.
長いこと囲まれていた私たちは慣れてしまっていた。
What kind of family finishes building a
家より先
cemetery
に墓地
before
を
starting the
建て
house?
終える家族なんて他に聞いたことがない。
It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but
これを認めるのは恥ずかしいけれ
the
ど、
pet cemetery may be
私
more
にとってはペッ
uncomfortable
ト
than
の
the
墓の
human
方
one.
が人間の墓地よりも
Three of
気
the
味悪
gerbils
か
are
っ
mine,
た。
and two
スナ
had been
ネ
my
ズミの
fault.
うち3匹は私なので2匹は私のせいだった。これって家族の墓地ってこと？ああ。
Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery. I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away.
そばにあっ
She could see it poking out of the water at low tide. Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night. Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from. There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself.
答え見つけ出すこと。大丈夫だと思うけど、少し小さくしたらいい。ああ、やっぱり。あれ？前設定したのにまた戻ってる。今気づいた。
But looking back on it now, if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22
そんなに
weeks
気になる
pregnant.
ほどでもないと俺は思いますかね。まあね。なんで屋根を渡っているのかはわからないけれども。どこ行くんだ？こっちか。ん？こっちか。
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common. They were both pretty intense.
うわ、びっくりした。なんだこれ。
Sam spent his life shooting photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something.
怖いもの。これじゃないか。この写真も十分怖いんだけど。
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
Hmm?
Perfect.
Am I gonna have to shoot anything? It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? Please just take the damn picture.
Hey, language.
あ、こ
I
っち
will
か。
never forget this weekend, Dad.
Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. That camera's older than you are. Hey!
That's a keeper.
あれ撮ってよかったのかな。
I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Dawn. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Dawn, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years. Dawn, don't you think you could find something more interesting to
ハレン
photograph?
チ。
Last time I was with my brother Calvin. Man,
いや、だってあれ撮らないと。
you don't need to waste any more film
こ
on
れ
me,
どんだ
kiddo.
け撮ればいいの？あのおじさんのこと。
Your grandpa Sven taught us how to fish, how to build a fire.
ピントが合わないんだけど。
We found an old logging trail. There were deer everywhere. I bet if I could remember where that trail was, we'd spot a buck for you in no time. Give me a minute to check the map.
勝手に撮られてるんじゃなくて、シンさんが撮ってるのね。そう、俺が撮ってる。
Let's see. Maybe.
でもさ、話が。
Was it? Could have been.
네, 話進んでよ。俺ここで積むの。おっちゃん？じゃん？俺写真撮るの下手よ。同じような記念が増える。うん、全く一緒なのが増えるね。こうか。どれがあんたの好みなんだよ。わかんないよ。鹿とかいないんかな。これ何すればいいの？うわー、わかんねえ。全身入れるとさ、ボケるんだよね。なんだ。メモリ使い切る。減ってなくね？減ってる？メモリ。あ、やけくそだ。 いやー、やけくそなっちゃうよね。ちょっと待ってね。左側に男性の写真を撮る。左側にいる男性の写真を撮る。撮ったけどね。わかんないね。右のかけしか。あ、かけ。鹿いた。ちょっとずるだけど。
Dad, I...
Just breathe. Let me get behind you.
Do I have to do this?
Dawn, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need to be strong.
鹿。
Keep yourself squared up, elbows down, like we practiced. Whenever you're ready. Great shot, Dawn!
Wow.
I'm proud of you, Dawn. Always remember that, okay? Sorry, Dawn. Just gotta reset the timer.
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally normal, Dawn. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about.
Dad!
Oh.
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me. After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
サムが亡くなってから母さんとエイリは近しくなった。二人とも多くを失ったから。
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it. I think he saw things the rest of us don't.
Gregory, it's time to... Hold on, sweetie. Hello? Sam, I told you I don't want to talk right now.
I world was like.
6つ。
He reminded me so much of Calvin. Lost in his imagination. Whatever it was he saw, it sure made him happy.
うわ。よし。帰りをもっと飛ぶんだ。あ、クジラ起こした起こした起こした。
I know how silly it sounds.
あ、やべ。
But I worried about a baby being too happy. But I could feel him slipping away.
Sorry about that, Gregory.
I know you did everything you could. Maybe if I hadn't called that night, I wish he could have told us
あ、
about the world he saw.
キラキラしてる。綺麗だなあ。じゃねえ。赤ちゃんが溺れちゃう。あ、やべ。やべ。待って。
There's so much I don't understand.
カエルを動かしてる。
About everything. But I know what happened
あ
was
れカエルに変身したよ。気のせいでこうなったんじゃない？
I'm sure he's happy.
あ、
And he'd want you to be happy too. Good luck, Kay.
ああ、やっちゃったって。血色悪くなっちゃったって。悪くなりすぎじゃない？緑色になったよ。赤ちゃんがはーいってしてる。カエル持ちながら。
I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard. My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled
空
up
想
the
のカエル
storm
に
inside
溺れ
his
させ
heart.
られたってこと？ああ。
I tried to
と
talk
いう
him
よ
out
り
of
は
it, but though he'd never met me,
溺れた先
we don't
に
need a stepmom, were the words that I
排水口が開いて赤ちゃんが
When the time for photos
詰まっちゃっ
came,
た
Dad
みたい
ordered
な
him to come here.
残
But
酷
Gus
なことになるん
declined
じゃない？
as a sign held up his middle finger.
これは残酷に考えすぎかな。なんかファックってしてるけど。
The wind picked up, and panicked geese
中
appeared
指
and
立て
quickly
て
went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent.
こっちか。これ雨に濡れてよく飛んでられるな。
came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made. The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder."
怒りの力にあふれていた父さん、音楽をもっと大きくというだけ。あの日あなたのこと、おっとえ、このタコすごいね、すごいね。タ
Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't, until we found you.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
で、あと4人だわ。あと4人で終わりだわ。扉は閉まってる。と、この上
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died. At the time, it was as far away as she could get.
みんな変わった死に方だね。そうだね。変わりすぎてるね。
She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
普通じゃありえないもんね。あんな死に
My
方。
mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English.
引っ越し英語を教える仕事を
Lewis
した。
was born a year later.
その1年後、レイスが生まれた。
When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else
父
to
さんが
go.
亡くなった時、母さんは他にどこに行ったらいいかわからなかったと思う。
I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back.
イディは彼女が帰ってきて嬉しかったことだろう。
The house had to get a little bigger, but
家
Edie
をま
was
た
used to
増
that.
殖しなければいけなかったけど。
And for a while, things were good. Almost normal. But it didn't last.
でもそれは長く続かなかっ
The
た。
beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle. After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
上から行く？どっから行く？上からか？こっち行けない。開くんかい。すげえ、俺もこんなゲス見て面白い。作るのめんどくさそう。
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
魔法の鉛筆。これ何歳の時に書いてんの？すごい。
I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
メルト。あと何？あと3人だって。え？ミルトンこれだけ？マジか。
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors.
随分と
Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
うまいパラパラ漫画みたいなの見た程度で終わったな。あれこれ上いけるじゃん。
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but
今のうちに
Louis blamed
わか
himself.
んない。
After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery. Everyone always told me to stay out of Louis's room. Except Louis.
より近くで見る。なんかトロフィー獲得した。あれこの人俺より年上じゃん。1988年って。これどっから行くの？ここ。
Louis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Louis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Louis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to... wander. I asked him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats.
2つのことするのって結構むずいんよ。
And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more. I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Louis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused.
やべえ、話が全然入ってこない。
Like a whole new Louis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend. On the edge of a city he named Louis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannon. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination. So he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him. He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis, until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Louis kept sailing on. In Louisburg, he heard rumors of a handsome queen. The queen was on her own quest for radiant rainbows. He followed the sound of her silver harp. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination. But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of the Golden Palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me.
自分の想像は自分の体と同じくらい本物なんだと。ぐらい。
He began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker.
なんか嫌な予感しかしないんだけど。
He began to despise the man with a royal contempt. I still thought I could save him.
黄金の階段?
Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder.
ってこと?
The palace would be packed with his companions. Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on inviting him.
他には受験しようと言い張った懸命な三毛猫も姿も。
His queen waited, holding his crown.
彼の王冠を持って女王が待機している。戻っていけえな。
There was only one thing left to do. Bend down his head.
壁は垂れること。待って待って待って待って待って待って待って待って。
And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him. Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot. On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie.
家を出る前日まで待って彼女
I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed. But I understand why we left. My mom ended up leaving everything behind. What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner. But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night.
ちょっと待ってね。もうちょい下げるか。よし。
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
The power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
Oh. 本こんなにあってる遅くあったら燃えるでしょうよ。
Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning. Okay?
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life.
いや、これホラーゲームしてんのかな
But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way. I got turned around. I started seeing things. Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them.
それか私がそれらのところにいた。
Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by.
何年か日が過ぎた。
My mom didn't like to talk about it.
お母さんは話したがらなかったけど、よく病気するようになった。
The rest happened pretty quickly.
残りの部分はかなり迅速に移った。少しの
She got better for a while.
間良くなると
And then she didn't.
すぐ悪くなって
And then I was alone.
そうして私は一人になった。
The last Finch left alive.
フィンチ家の最後の生き残り。
Until I found out about you.
あなたのことを知るまでは
I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this.
あなたに何を伝えるべきかまだよくわからない。
If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things.
永遠に生きていたらいろいろ何か成長する時間もあったけど、現状では目を見開くことぐらいしかできない。
And appreciate how strange
そして
and
この世
brief
の
all
不
of
思議
this
さ
is.
とは儚さを理解することぐらいしか。
This journal was supposed to be for you.
この日誌はあなたのためのはずだった。
But now I hope you'll never see it.
でも今はこれを見つけてほしいと思わない。
I just want to meet you
ただあなたに会い
and
た
tell
い。
you all these stories myself.
そしてこれらの物語を自分で伝えたい。
But I guess if you're reading this now,
でも考えるに今これを読んでいるとし
things
たら
didn't work out that way.
私はねの願いは叶わなかったってことね。血管の中ってことはあれ。
This is where your story begins.
これがあなた
I'm
のスト
sorry
ー
I
リーの
won't
始
let you
ま
to
り。
see it. It's a lot to
一緒に
ask.
そこで見ることができなくてごめんなさい。無理な頼みだけど私がいないことを悲しまないで。私たちの誰もが少しでもこの世に存在してできたこと。ああ。終わったんだわ。終わったのか。あ、終わった感じがするな。つまりはあれ、この写真の人たちの生前の物語の一部ってことになるのかな。で、フィンチ家っていう家族の人たちは呪われてて、そのストーリーを聞くと、その家族は呪われて奇妙な死に至る っていうことなのかな。難しくてよくわかんない。けどそういうことになるのかな。で、そのストーリーの一部を操作できたっていう感じなのか。これエンディングだよね。違うのかな。わかんない。まあ、いいや。全部の物語を知りたいってなったら、まあ、再生リストを作ってあるので、1からは見れるけど、ところどころ迷子になってるので、まあ、作業用とかでいいのかな。いつも通り作業用とか、暇つぶしとかで、ぼーっとしたいときとかでも、見てくれればいいのかなと思います。2012年から2017年、意外と最近ストーリーをリプレイするオプションが追加されました。最初からプレイするには、エジスを選択してください。ということで、なんか、急だけど、なんかもやっとしてるけど、終わりみたいです。うん。まあ、ここにね、いる人たちの過去の一部みたいなのが、体験できる、まあ、ゲームだったのかなと思います。まあ、フィンチ家はまあこれで終わりということで、まあ、ちょっともやっとはしてるけど終わりということでね、まあ他の動画もあるのでよかったら見てください。これのね、前の動画とかも、まあ、30分で撮ってるものもあるので、ね、そっちの方はちょっと、まあライブ配信ではあったんですけど、まあ撮り方がね、まあ PS4 っていう点では一緒なんですけど、撮り方がまあ、前と今とで違うので、ちょっと見づらいかなっていう感じだとは思うんですけど、よかったら見てください。他のゲームもね、これからね、少しずつ、まあ、やっていくので、そちらの方もね、 確認していただけると嬉しいです。チャンネル登録、高評価もらえると励みになるし、嬉しいです。あとはね、これからいろんなゲームをね、ちょくちょくやっていくと思うので、なんかさっきも同じようなことを言ったな。まあいいや。見てくださいっていうのとね、フレンドとやってるゲームもあれば、個人でやってるゲームもあるので、なんだろうな。わちゃわちゃやってるのがほぼほぼフレンドとで、ゆったり自分のペースでやってるのが個人でっていうのがはっきりしてると思うので、そちらはね、一応タイトルの方にフレンドとみたいな、二人でみたいなの書いてるので、分けてみてもらえれば嬉しいかなと思います。そのくらいかな？それじゃあ、また他の動画で会いましょう。それじゃあ、またねー。